fun, right? So, I mean, we all like video games, but have you ever thought about what a game means to you? Or maybe a movie? Both at the same time? Well, today I'll be talking about Wreck-It Ralph. Although not a niche movie in any explanation of the word, I want to explain the amazingness of Wreck-It Ralph and how, to me, it is basically the greatest movie ever made. So basically, I love video games a lot, and I don't really play one specific genre. I mean, I don't just play shooting. I don't play platformer. I play basically everything. But games are a big part of my life as well as I hope that's all. I know that's probably plays a part in a lot of you guys' life as well. In any way, shape, or form. I watched this movie when I was 12, and I swear, I watched it about 15 times consecutively that night, and now even way more than that. I even played the game, which was terrible. I'm not gonna talk about that. But for today, I will focus on the movie that started it all. To make this simple, I'll be going over the story and how it differs from most different Disney movies. I'll also be going over the graphics and also the animation as well as the feeling of the movie. And I'll be going over why the message of the movie is actually significant in the first place. For one thing, what exactly is Wreck-It Ralph? There's 3 people in this room who have no idea what the heck I'm talking about. Wreck-It Ralph is a 3D animated movie made by Walt Disney Animation Studios. Released in 2012, Wreck-It Ralph is a movie about video games, specifically arcade, not technically console games. But it's basically about he goes on a grand adventure to change his destiny as a bad guy. The movie is mainly about Wreck-It Ralph, the main villain character in said game, Fix-It Felix Jr. His rival, but better yet, co-worker is Fix-It Felix Jr., who is loved and appreciated by everyone. Since Ralph is tired of this lifestyle, he vows to change his life by becoming a good guy so that everyone will treat him with respect. I mean, that's really understandable. Along his adventure, he goes to Hero's Duty, a parody of Call of Duty, obviously, and then Sugar Rush, which immediately becomes the film's focus from that point on, for better or for worse. Now, he then meets Penelope Von Sweets, a character that is very much alike to Ralph in many different ways, such as the fact that the people in her game don't like her since she is seen as a glitch. As the movie progresses, Ralph and Penelope go through some bonding, to the point where Ralph even starts to second-guess his motivations about his goal. Now, it then ends off in a climactic finale where Ralph must save the entirety of the arcade by seemingly sacrificing himself, but not before he learns an important lesson of, I'm bad, and that's good. I'll never be good, and that's not bad. There's no one I'd rather be than me. Now, after which everyone is saved, and the film ends off with a satisfying note. Now, the story of this movie is actually pretty straightforward and easy to understand. With some good execution and acting, the characters are pretty endearing, and they all come off as relatable in some way, shape, or form. It also has a bit of a mature edge to it that don't go over a whole lot of mature audiences' heads, which is what when they watch this film themselves. But speaking of watching the movie, the actual look of the movie itself is awe-inspiring. The whole entire looks and graphics of the movie are absolutely stunning and beautifully created. The art style of the movie is fantastic, with all the scenes having an enormous amount of Easter eggs and video game references that will be sure to make everyone who plays video games go, oh yeah, I know who Super Mario is. So, of course, the animation is brilliant, because it's Disney. And with the characters moving in with such grace and diversity, especially with the Nicelanders, who also move like 8-bit sprite characters from the NES games. The squash and stretch in the animations also makes the 3D animation look grand as usual. Finally, the main point of why I personally like this movie is the feel of the movie, which is not something a lot of people really talk about when it comes to experiencing a lot of things. Now, when you go through life, we see different things and feel differently about those things, and then there's the case where some things just feel right. Well, Wreck-It Ralph has that feeling, and it's very, very strong. One thing that has been increasingly difficult for me personally in the past 10 years is figuring out why in the world do I even like this movie. But it goes above just so many other movies that I've ever seen, and I might have seen even more. But I never figured out it was the feeling of the movie. To make it clear, To me, the movie feels like a giant amusement park with just a crazy array of attractions and people. It also looks like a really fun on the surface, but also has a dark side to it. The entire situation with Penelope being the glitch, King Candy having an alternate agenda, and the countless mysteries give the movie a sense of wonder. Now, more akin to some place such as Carowinds or Six Flags, having a crazy dark history behind it, or it basically gives you a sense of connection to the world and characters after you realize this, and the payoff is immense. It just has the air, the vibe, the breath of life that I like to breathe, and I can't help but to call it special because of that. And going back to the main ideal of the movie that wraps it all together, the main idea of the movie, like I mentioned before, where it summarizes the importance of being yourself, hits home for me in a special way. All my life personally, I felt like not many people like me, and I barely had friends. But I never wanted to stop being myself for anyone. To the point where when I was a couple years ago, there was this girl I was talking to, and I liked her. I didn't know she liked me, but one day she told me, "Hey, I'd date you if you were, you could completely look like had different clothes. If you acted a certain way, you change your hair up." And I remember saying, "No, I don't want to change myself just because I don't know. I'm not who you want me to be. I'm not going to change myself." And we continued to see each other after that, so that's that's not even a factor. But the thing is that this movie reaffirmed that lesson to me, and I still hold it close to my heart every day. It also hope that it's a subtle message and not done in a way that feels shoehorned in like a lot of other movies that I like to see. Sometimes we can't help the things that we love, but I believe that everyone can take something of value from the movie in any way, whether it be from having confidence in yourself, to accepting some things in your life that might not be as grandiose. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but whatever. Like I said, I wanted to tell you guys why Wreck-It Ralph is the best movie of all time, and why it is, to me, an unappreciated movie in the grand scheme of things, and why I feel like the myriad of other Disney flicks or anyone else has put out don't really compare to this. The story is fresh, fun, and intriguing. The animation is gorgeous, and the feeling and what the movie stands for are what makes it stand out. Having some of these been done before possibly, but Wreck-It Ralph absolutely wrecks. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. Wrecks the competition. If there's anything that this movie has taught me, is that I should have pride in myself even if no one really gets it. Sure, people look at me like I'm crazy, but I've gotten this far and I've met this many people, so how weird can I really be? Oh yeah, by the way, Wreck-It Ralph sucks no ever see that movie. That's terrible.